In a world where millions dream of scoring, there are those who are born to save. When everything is against them, when seconds are an eternity, when a mistake is a sentence, they rush through the air as if time doesn't exist and do the impossible. It's not just a game, it's a war on the goal line. It's the story of those who didn't let their opponent's dream come true. And it's the top of the most legendary saves in football history. And it starts right now. The first match between Inter Milan and Barcelona in the semifinals of the 2010 Champions League ended with a confident 3-1 home victory for the Italian club. At that time, Barcelona, under the leadership of Pep Guardiola, represented a truly formidable power, and therefore no one was in a hurry to send Inter to the final. Already in the 28th minute of the return match, Italians were left in the minority because Thiago Motta received a red card. And just 5 minutes later, Lionel Messi received the ball on the right flank. Filigree shifted to the center and made a dangerous shot on goal. It seemed that the ball was about to fly into the net, but Inter's goalkeeper Julio Cesar somehow miraculously stretched in an incredible leap and repelled the ball, pulling it almost from the bottom corner. Barcelona managed to score only at the end of the second half. Gerard Piqué scored, but there was no time left for the hosts to press Inter and snatch victory. It's quite possible that if Cesar had not saved his team after Messi's shot in the first half, Barcelona would have had a psychological advantage and the fate of the match would have turned out differently. The Catalans could have crushed their rival and reached the final, where they were waiting for a still immature Bayern squad. Considering that Barcelona won the Champions League in 2011, it can't be ruled out that if they'd won the Champions League a season earlier, the club would have triumphed with 3 consecutive titles before Real Madrid did.
Gave the referee a decision to make. Messi curls it! Oh, terrific effort and a wonderful save by Julio Cesar. Just got fingertips on that bender from...
In his debut season for Manchester United, David De Gea has shown his skills to the fans on numerous occasions. One of the most spectacular episodes occurred in the away match against Chelsea, during which the Red Devils managed to get back and equalize. In the 91st minute, the hosts were awarded a dangerous free kick and a chance to snatch victory in the end. Juan Mata came to the ball and shot into the top corner of the net, and it seemed that a goal was inevitable, but it was not enough. De Gea made a truly heroic leap and somehow unimaginably pulled the ball out of the corner. This save not only helped United to take 1 point, but also became one of the most spectacular saves in the history of the English Premier League.
Scored one screen already. That's another good effort!
That's a hell of a save, that. That is a hell of a save, that.
That's an unbelievable save from
That is a fantastic save from the goalkeeper.
However, in the 2014-15 season, David made an equally spectacular save in the match against Everton. After a mess in the penalty area, the ball bounced to the guest defender, who without hesitation shot from the flight. The shot turned out to be powerful, and it seemed that the ball was about to be in the goal, but De Gea was of a different opinion, because in a split second, he turned into a superhero and in an incredible leap, saved his team from an imminent goal.
It's a good ball as well towards Stones. It falls for Gareth Barry, and it's a block by Blackett, and then tips over the bar from De Gea. Fantastic save again from the Spaniard, and a vital block before that from young Tyler Blackett.
The 2006 World Cup final was special for France's captain, Zinedine Zidane. The legendary midfielder knew in advance that the match against Italy would be his last in his career. At the beginning of the match, Zidane opened the scoring with a penalty kick, but then Italy equalized through the efforts of Marco Materazzi. And in extra time, Zinedine had a great opportunity to put the national team ahead. Because after a cross from the right flank from Willy Sagnol, Zidane made a powerful shot on goal. But Italian goalkeeper Gianluigi Buffon made a fantastic save and didn't allow the midfielder to make a double. And later Zidane fell for the provocation of Marco Materazzi and hit the opponent's chest with his head, for which he received a red card. And the match went to a penalty shootout where Italy were stronger. And who knows if Zidane would have scored with a header. It's likely that his goal would have brought him and his team victory. But Buffon was of a different opinion that evening.
Arriva il traversone di Sagnol, cerca Zidane!
Si è salito col tempo giusto, ha fatto tutta l'azione lui, guarda Zidane come scarica bene sull'esterno, poi trova il tempo di inserimento.
The 2005 Champions League final remains one of the most dramatic matches in football history. Milan confidently went into the halftime break with a 3-0 win over Liverpool. The Italians thought they had the victory in their pocket, but at the start of the second half, the English quickly scored 3 goals and equalized. The winner of the tournament was decided in extra time, and in the 117th minute, Milan striker Andriy Shevchenko had an incredible opportunity to snatch victory for his team. Liverpool goalkeeper Jerzy Dudek coped with the first header from the Ukrainian, but the ball from the goalkeeper again flies to Andriy. Then he hit a powerful shot on goal, but the Pole put his hands out and miraculously managed to save the goal. This diamond save allowed Liverpool to move the game into a penalty shootout, in which Jerzy Dudek again became a hero by clearing the same Shevchenko shot.
To the lottery of the shootout. Serginho with a great cross. Thomason! Oh, what a save! What a save from Shevchenko by Jerzy Dudek! How on earth did he deny him? Not once, but twice.
Jerzy, I apologise.
In the last round of the Champions League group stage of the 2018-2019 season, Liverpool only needed a win in their home match against Napoli. Mohamed Salah put the hosts ahead in the 34th minute, but towards the end of the match, the fans at Anfield almost had a heart attack. Liverpool defenders could not cope with a cross from the right flank, and then the ball fell into the feet of striker Arkadiusz Milik. The Pole unsuccessfully handled the ball, but was able to strike a powerful second touch. Fortunately for the Liverpool goalkeeper, Alisson Becker selflessly threw himself under the ball and didn't allow the opponent to score. And as a result, the Merseysiders kept the winning score and reached the playoffs. And in the spring part of the season, Liverpool was able to make a celebration for their fans and won their 6th Champions League title in history. And no matter how hard it sounds, all this might not have happened if not for the heroic save of Alisson in the final minutes.
Callahan with a cross into the area. Fabinho on the first header. What a save by Alisson Becker! Absolutely sensational that was! Stunning reflexes!
The Qatari sheiks acquired PSG in 2011 and have since invested huge sums of money into the club. The Parisians have reached the UEFA Champions League final twice, in 2020 and 2025. In 2020, PSG reached the tournament final for the first time, where they faced Bayern Munich. The German club had literally destroyed all their opponents on their way to the final. It was difficult for the Parisians to cope with the favorite. In the first half, the club from the French capital had an excellent opportunity to open the scoring. PSG forward Neymar went one-on-one with Manuel Neuer and tried to score with a powerful shot. However, the Bayern goalkeeper saved the first attempt, and the ball immediately rebounded to Neymar. The Brazilian, from a tight angle, tried to pass to Angel Di Maria, who was in front of an empty goal, but Manuel selflessly lunged towards Neymar and blocked the pass. For the remainder of the match, PSG could not score, and Bayern snatched victory in the second half. The decisive goal, ironically, was scored by PSG Youth Academy graduate Kingsley Coman, and Bayern won with a score of 1-0. If it weren't for Neuer's outstanding performance in that match, PSG's trophy cabinet might already have held the second Champions League trophy. However, fortunately for the fans, the club did win this long-awaited trophy in 2025, defeating Inter Milan with a crushing score of 5-0. This was PSG's first victory in the Champions League.
It's Mbappe to Neymar, and Neymar again, and Neuer for the second time makes the block.
Brilliant by Manuel Neuer. What a stop. Is he ever going to score, Neymar?
The 2010 World Cup final was doubly important for Spain and the Netherlands, as neither country had ever won the World Cup. And in the 62nd minute, the Netherlands striker Arjen Robben had a great opportunity to put his team ahead and increase the chance of victory. Robben received a pass from the center and ran out one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And for Arjen, no one stopped him in this situation, but in the decisive moment, the footballer could not outplay Iker Casillas, who completely composed and coped with the shot. As a result, in regular time, the game ended in a 0 draw. But in extra time, Andres Iniesta scored the only goal of the match and brought Spain victory. For this reason, Robben probably still considers a one-on-one with Casillas as the biggest failure in his career. And in fact, the first ever victory at the World Cup could celebrate not Spain, but the Dutch team, which to this day has failed to win the long-awaited trophy.
Played through for Robben. This is the chance. Arjen Robben is in. And Arjen
Arjen Robben has been denied by Casillas. Great miss, or wonderful save.
The outcome of the final match of the last World Cup brought a lot of emotions to the fans. Argentina had an advantage of 2 goals, but in the second half, France quickly recovered and took the game into extra time. In the extra 30 minutes, both teams scored 1 goal each, but at the very end of the match was a real sensation, because the French striker, Randal Kolo Muani, received a pass from the center of the field and went one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And with his first touch, the striker was ready to hit the goal. But Emiliano Martinez, like a wall, ran out and simply blocked the shot. And if not for the save, Argentina would not have reached the penalty shootout, where the main hero again became Martinez. After all, Emiliano in the penalty shootout saved his goal from Kingsley Coman's shot, and also disorientated Aurelien Tchouameni, who did not hit the goal. Well, Argentina eventually celebrated the 3rd World Cup victory in history, and Martinez played a crucial role in this victory.
Forward by Canate, Muani! What a stop! What a stop by Martinez! And Martinez waits in the middle! Lautaro Martinez wide!
The first Champions League semi-final of the 2014-15 season ended with a confident 3-0 victory for Barcelona over Bayern Munich. In the return game at the Allianz Arena, the Munich club under Pep Guardiola was determined to get back on track and reach the final. Despite a quick Bayern goal, Barcelona quickly scored 2 goals in reply and seemed to put to rest any questions about the finalist. After that, Bayern striker Robert Lewandowski had a great opportunity to level the score, because after a series of ricochets, Pohl received the ball and struck a powerful shot, which hit the hand of Marc-Andre ter Stegen and began to roll into an open goal. And the fans were ready to celebrate the goal, but the Germans surprisingly caught up with the ball and pulled it from the line at the very last moment. In the second half, Bayern scored 2 goals and won the match with a score of 3-2. But in the final, on the sum of the 2 matches went Barcelona. And given that the Catalans in the second half of the match did not make a single shot at the goal, we can't exclude the scenario in which Bayern would have defeated Barcelona if ter Stegen didn't make a save after Lewandowski's shot. Munich knew how to defeat Barcelona by then, as the 7-0 aggregate of 2 matches in the semi-finals in 2013 clearly proves. And probably if Lewandowski had scored in the 74th minute, the score would have been 4-2. And scoring 2 goals in 20 minutes is not the most difficult task for Bayern, especially at a time when the motivation of the players was at its limit. And unfortunately for Munich's ter Stegen, for whom this season was his debut at Barcelona, didn't allow the team to feel the intrigue in the end.
Thiago's shoulders fallen for Lewandowski to Stegen! And he kept it out.
They do that on the training ground where they're up back on their feet, sprawling across the goal line, trying to get a hand on something.
The 2012 Champions League final against Bayern Munich was incredibly important for Chelsea London. The team not only wanted to win the long-awaited trophy for the first time in history, but also to win a ticket to the next round of the tournament, because finishing in 6th place in the championship didn't allow to play in the Champions League. And so it turned out that Bayern played the final on their own field. So the Blues had an incredibly difficult time. In regular time, the teams played to a 1-1 draw. But in extra time, Bayern got the right to a penalty, and the 11-meter kick was executed by former Chelsea player Arjen Robben. To the incredible luck for Londoners goalkeeper Petr Cech, he read the plan of the Dutchman and made a save, saving his team in the game. The winner of the Champions League was eventually decided in a penalty shootout, where Petr Cech first cleared a penalty from Ivica Olic, and then with his fingertips deflected Bastian Schweinsteiger's shot onto the goalpost. And then Didier Drogba scored the decisive penalty to give Chelsea their long-awaited first Champions League win. Petr Cech carried his team not only in the final, but also in the previous stages, and especially in the semi-finals with Barcelona.
And Cech saves! Chelsea delirium behind that goal. The ex-Chelsea man can't convert, and yet again in Chelsea's Champions League run.
The 2022 Champions League final between Real Madrid and Liverpool was an incredibly important game for both teams, with the Spaniards looking to win their first Champions League title since the leaving of Cristiano Ronaldo, and the English looking for revenge for their defeat in the final 4 years ago. Unfortunately for Liverpool goalkeeper, Thibaut Courtois did not allow them to achieve their goal. In the first half, after a shot from the right flank, Mohamed Salah struck a tricky shot from close range. But Thibaut somehow miraculously managed to react and clear the ball. A little later, another Liverpool striker, Sadio Mane, broke through from the left flank into the center and shot into the near corner. But this time, the Belgian made an incredible jump and deflected the ball into the goalpost. And already in the second half, Salah tried to make a curling shot from the right flank, but Courtois again did not allow the Egyptian to score. And when Real were already leading in the score thanks to a goal by Vinicius, Liverpool created a couple of more chances. The same Salah, after a head pass from his partner, was ready to send the ball into a half-empty goal. But Thibaut was incredibly quick to take the right position and cleared the shot straight at point-blank range. And in the end of the game, Salah went one-on-one with Thibaut Courtois. But the Belgian again made a terrific save and helped Real keep the winning score. And if it wasn't for Courtois, Real would have lost the Champions League final for the first time in 40 years. Which sounds crazy, but Liverpool really could have scored 3 or even 5 goals in that final.
Cross is dangerous, Salah, smart save there. He's found some space, and he's found the post via the hand of Courtois. Salah looking for an equaliser, finding the hands of Courtois again. It was a good post, and here comes Salah. And somehow an improvised save by Courtois kicks it out. From Fabinho, wonderful control from Mohamed Salah. What a save! What a save by Thibaut Courtois. He's been congratulated as if he scored.
The World Cup quarterfinal between the national teams of Portugal and Morocco was incredibly emotional for both teams. In the first half, the Africans took the lead through the efforts of Youssef and Nesiri. Despite this, Portugal fought for a spot in the semi-final until the very end. In the 82nd minute, forward João Felix received a layoff from Cristiano Ronaldo and took a rather powerful curling shot. Morocco's goalkeeper, Yassine Bono, made a heroic dive and preserved the winning score for his team. And in the 91st minute, Ronaldo himself could have scored. Cristiano received a through pass and, from the edge of the penalty area, shot from under a defender into the near corner. But Bono saved his team this time as well. Morocco ultimately celebrated the victory and became the first African national team in history to reach a World Cup semi-final. The legendary Cristiano Ronaldo possibly missed his last chance to win the World Cup, but we sincerely hope that this isn't his last chance, and that Ronaldo, along with his team, will try their luck at the 2026 World Cup. By the way, if Portugal had managed to get past Morocco and then dealt with the French national team in the semi-final, it's quite likely that in the decisive match, we would have seen a showdown between Messi and Ronaldo, and who knows how football history would have turned out. However, Bono, with his saves at the end of the game, did not allow such a scenario to happen. Manuel Almunia may not have had a great career at Arsenal in London, but one episode in a Watford shirt is forever etched in the memories of fans around the world. In the 97th minute of the return match against Leicester City in the Championship playoffs, the fate of the game hung in the balance. With the score tied at 2 games, Watford faced a penalty shootout, and in the case of a goal, Leicester went to the final. One of the leaders of the visitors, Anthony Neuer, attempted to take the kick. The Frenchman made a run-up, shot exactly in the middle. Almunia jumped to the left, but in the jump caught the ball with his feet. The ball bounced back to Neuer, who tried to score, but Almunia reacted to the shot and made a second amazing save. The Watford defender knocked the ball out, starting a lightning-fast counterattack of his team. A moment later, the ball was already in the Leicester penalty area, after a cross from the right flank followed by a head pass to Troy Deeney. And the striker hit the guest goal with a powerful shot from the flight that struck the goal. This moment caused a real explosion of emotions. The fans ran onto the field celebrating the incredible outcome. But all this was possible thanks to the key save of Manuel Almunia, who became a symbol of that legendary evening.
Here's Hogg! Deeney! Do not scratch your eyes!
However, Petr Cech's save against Liverpool in the FA Cup final is one of the best in this selection in our opinion. The key moment came at the end of the match, when Liverpool were desperate to equalize. Striker Andy Carroll found himself in a good position and shot header at goal. It seemed that the ball had already crossed the line, but Petr Cech made an incredible save, managing with his fingertips to deflect the ball into the crossbar. This moment was decisive, as Liverpool were unable to score again, and Chelsea won the FA Cup with a 2-1 victory. And Petr Cech's save not only helped the team to keep the winning score, but also became a symbol of his outstanding skill and reaction. This episode became one of the most memorable moments of his career, and in the history of the FA Cup finals.
Glenn Johnson. He's left it to Suarez for the chip. Andy Carroll! It's in, I think! Well, Carroll is certain it is. I tell you what, this is a wonderful save by Petr Cech.
In the first match of the English Premier League in the 2021-2022 season, Chelsea London visited newcomer Brentford. By the end of the match, the guests were leading 1-0, but the victory was given with great difficulty, as the hosts created several dangerous chances and were close to equalizing. With 93 minutes gone and only seconds to go until the final whistle, Brentford had another chance. After a cross from the left flank, midfielder Christian Norgard received a very difficult ball with his chest, and then with a second touch made a spectacular bicycle kick. The home fans held their breath and were ready to celebrate, but Chelsea goalkeeper Edouard Mendy made a fantastic save. The ball was flying with great force and speed, but the Senegalese managed to deflect it into the corner. Thanks to this moment, as well as several other saves that Mendy made earlier, Chelsea managed to take away a hard-fought victory.
Looking for a pinpoint cross. It comes all the way through and a chance with the oven. What a save! That is sensational from Edouard Mendy.
In the first match of the Champions League semi-final of the 2016-2017 season, Real Madrid confidently defeated neighbors Atletico at home. A comfortable scoreline of 3-0 gave Real the opportunity to relax in the return meeting. However, Atletico did not give an easy ride. In fact, on 66 minutes, the score was 2-1 in favor of Atletico, and the hosts had a great opportunity to increase the advantage. Winger Ferreira Carrasco moved from the left flank to the center and shot on goal. But goalkeeper Keylor Navas made a stunning save. From the Costa Rican, the ball bounced right to Kevin Gamero. The Frenchman tried to shoot almost open goal, but Navas incredibly managed to get to his feet and left the opponent with nothing. The scoreline remained the same, as Real reached the final and defended their Champions League title, and a year later made it 3 consecutive league wins. But if Atletico had scored at that very moment, the hosts would have had half an hour to score twice and reach the final. And perhaps Real would not have gone down in history as the only team to win 2 and then 3 Champions Leagues in a row in the 21st century.
Here's Carrasco, it's a chance, it's a good save, and another one from Navas to deny.
Danilo has really struggled all game. Inside there, tries to guide into the back.
In 2016, Argentina had a great opportunity to get revenge in the final against Chile. 12 months before Chile had already beaten Argentina in a penalty shootout, so Messi and his team were determined to get revenge. Just like a year ago, the teams failed to find a winner in regular time, but in the 100th minute of extra time came the climax. Messi crossed into the opponent's penalty area and Sergio Aguero hit a great header. The fans could already see the ball in the goal, but Chilean goalkeeper Claudio Bravo made an amazing jump and saved his team. The winner of the tournament was determined in a penalty shootout, where Claudio made another save by clearing Lucas's shot, and as a result, the Chilean team won the Copa America for the 2nd year in a row. And Lionel Messi, because of the big pressure and criticism for a while, announced the end of his career in the Argentine national team. And later, Messi returned. However, he had to wait another 5 years for his first international trophy. Argentina finally won the Copa America in 2021, but if it weren't for Bravo, who was also Messi's teammate at the time of the match, the triumph could have happened much earlier. The funny thing is that Claudio Bravo left Barcelona 20 days after that final.
Floto pelota, remate de cabeza, lance impresionante, manotazo Salvador, dedos que pueden costar.
Although Thibaut Courtois was mentioned in this video, we must show you another of his saves in the final minutes. After all, the goalkeeper also showed himself in all his glory when he defended his national team's goal in the World Cup quarter-final against Brazil. By the 94th added minute, Belgium had a 2-1 lead, but Brazil continued to fight until the end, and after Douglas Costa's pass, the ball was at Neymar, who tried to equalize with a curling shot. The ball flew straight into the far top corner, but Courtois, thanks to his height, had time to react and knock the ball out straight with his fingertips. And Belgium held on to the win and reached the semi-finals. Although before the match with Brazil, many considered Belgium an outsider.
He's still going, the little wriggler, and it's Neymar! He nearly got it! He nearly got it! And Courtois' fingers perhaps have denied Brazil and sent Belgium through. What
A goalkeeper is not just a player. They're a hero who can single-handedly change the course of a match and write their name into history. Today, we've recalled the most legendary and unforgettable saves that will forever remain in the memory of football fans. And this is only a small part of the great goalkeeping magic. And now it's your turn to write in the comments which save impressed you the most. Don't forget to give a like, and if you enjoyed our work, be sure to subscribe to our channel, Footkick, because on this channel, football truly comes to life. And most importantly, take care of yourselves and your loved ones.